Pollination is the process of transferring the pollen grains of a plant to the plant stigma. This is a key component in the sexual reproduction of flowering plants. Most flowering plants require cross-pollination, the pollen transfer from one plant individual to another. Cross-pollination can occur via wind or water, but approximately 75% of flowering plant species depend on animal pollinators. Pollination is carried out by a wide variety of animals. Mammals, birds, bees, beetles, wasps, moths, and flies all pollinate, but the majority of animal pollination in nature is performed by bees. In general, pollination is a mutually beneficial interaction. Pollinating animals receive some form of nutritional reward for visitation and pollen delivery. Pollen itself can be the reward. The significance of pollination has been documented throughout recorded history. Ancient Assyrian temples have been found with carvings depicting pollination of date palms. In Western civilization, pollination was first discovered in 1700s. Kohlreuter, a German professor, found that insect visitation was a prerequisite for seed production. He put this knowledge to practical use by developing a technique for artificial fertilization and conducted the first cross-hybridization of two plant species. Research on pollination didn't pick up again until 1862 when Charles Darwin wrote on this subject in his works, The Various Contrivances by which British and Foreign Orchids are Fertilized by Insects and the Good Effects of Intercrossing. Subsequent publications by Darwin led to an explosion of interest in pollination biology that laid the foundation for agricultural applications and for contemporary experimental studies. Pollination is key to food security. Approximately 35% of the world's staple food crops and 75% of the major world crops require pollination. The economic value of pollinators to crop production is estimated at $217 billion annually. In agriculture, especially amongst pollen-limited crops, promoting pollination services is a means of increasing productivity without resorting to expensive agricultural inputs of pesticides and herbicides. The European honeybee is the single most important pollinator of agricultural crops worldwide. Lack of pollination services are decreasing productivity in many crops without farmers even recognizing it. Honeybees have several attributes that make them valuable for crop pollination and allow their use in a variety of locations. Honeybee body parts are modified to affect pollination. Their body size and proboscis length suits them to forage many varied types of flowers. Their wide host range enables them to pollinate many types of crops, something that distinguishes them from many other pollinator-plant interactions. Honeybees work for longer durations and are less affected by climatic conditions compared to other insect pollinators. Honeybees have also evolved numerous other adaptations which make them very efficient pollinators. Because the entire colony overwinters, large number of bees are ready to forage in early spring compared to other bees such as the bumblebee, where only the queen overwinters. Forked body hairs enable the bee to pick up pollen and move it around better than insects with simple unforked hairs or insects without any body hairs. Branch hairs are capable of carrying up to 5 million pollen grains. Honeybees have specialized mouthparts, a honey sac, and honeycombs for storing nectar and pollen. Honeybees have corbiculae, or pollen baskets. These pollen baskets are structures on the hind legs of worker honeybees that allow them to carry pollen back to the colony. Honeybees have effective communication. Dance language and other forms of communication allow scout bees to transmit information about a food source to other bees, thus greatly improving pollination activity. Colonies of bees can be moved to crops needing pollination. Each colony contains large populations of foragers to work crops with a narrow pollinating window. Bees will usually work only one type of flower on each trip, making honeybees a desirable pollinating agent for cultivated crops.